Hey, Mr. Stine, how you doing today?
Hi, good. How are you?
I am excellent. I'm honored to be speaking with you. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Well, the film Goosebumps 2 finally coming to DVD and Blu-ray. First, can you tell the listeners a bit about the movie in case maybe they missed it in the theaters?
Well, yes, it's basically a good Goosebumps story. It has all the scares and it's funny at the same time. It's a big Halloween movie, basically, where Slappy the Evil Dummy brings everything to life, everything about Halloween, all the masks, all the costumes, every pumpkin. He goes into a drugstore, brings all the decorations to life, and he's just destroying this town by bringing everything about Halloween to life. And these three kids have to find a way to stop the evil dummy.
And the cast in the film is great. I know you make an appearance in there, and of course, Jack Black.
I have my 5 seconds, right?
Yeah. What did you think of Jack Black's portrayal of you in the film? Do you think he did you justice?
No, he didn't do me justice, but I think he's hilarious. I think he's wonderful. Jack and I are like twins, right?
Well, it's incredible, the longevity of Goosebumps and, everything that's spun off from it. And I imagine you must feel the same way when you sit back and kind of take it all in, looking at all the stuff that's come out over the years.
I'm amazed. I think no one is more amazed than I am. Here we are. We're in our 26th year of Goosebumps books. That's a lot of books, right? And actually, I just signed on to write 6 more. I'm working on a Slappy book called The Dummy Meets the Mummy. So we just keep going. It's a lot of fun. I feel very lucky because it's all I've ever done in my life is write books, and I get to keep going.
Yeah, that is great. I remember reading Fear Street in elementary school, and then ordering a Welcome to the Dead House from the Scholastic Book Fair. So you've been
Goosebumps #1.
Yeah. Now I can share my books with my own son. That must be a great feeling for you as well to know that it's kind of being passed down the line like that.
I get to scare a lot of generations. It's good, right?
Well, is it possible for you to pick maybe a favorite Goosebumps book? I know you've done hundreds of them over the years.
Well, there are about, 150 Goosebumps books. I enjoy writing all the ones with Slappy the Dummy because he's basically an insult comedian. And I get to write all these really wonderful, rude insults. It's the only time I get to do that. So I enjoy that. I think maybe the best Goosebumps, my favorite, is The Haunted Mask. And
Sure.
I think that's my best Halloween story.
Well, what's the secret for you writing so many books for a younger audience? Is there a trick to that to kind of stay on their wavelength?
Well, that's a big part of the job, isn't it? I have to keep up with them. I have to keep up with what they wear, and I have to spy on kids a lot by the way they talk and what technology they use. That's a really hard part of the job since it changes every 2 weeks. But yeah, I work very hard. You don't want to sound dated,
Well, with today's technology and how things have changed so quickly as far as books go, are you finding that young readers are still interested in the physical hardcover books and wanting to have that for themselves?
Yeah, well, mine are paperback, but the kids still want to read books, which is a really nice thing. Some read on screens, of course, but the whole thing of reading on screens hasn't really trickled down that much to kids. Kids still like physical books. So that's a nice thing. I don't really care. If they want to read Goosebumps on a screen, I'm thrilled.
It does seem like regardless of the time period, the stories and the content of the books are still relevant and still scaring kids regardless of
Right.
what generation
Yeah,
it
well,
is.
the fears never change. Technology changes. That changes. But the basic fears of being afraid of the dark, being afraid something's under your bed or in the closet, being in a strange new place, those things never change. And that's what Goosebumps is. I always think Goosebumps could have been written, when I was a kid back in the 50s. I don't think the stories would be the same.
And again, Goosebumps 2 coming to a DVD and Blu-ray. And I know this is a bit off subject, but I had no idea until recently that you were behind Nickelodeon's Eureka's Castle. That is incredible.
That's my whole TV career. I was head writer of Eureka's Castle, and that was fun. I was there for 4 years. Yeah, most people don't know it. And it was very strange for me because, I'm used to sitting in a room typing. And when you do television, it's total collaboration. There are like 20 people involved. So it was strange, but I loved it. And I'm very proud of Eureka. Some people remember it.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned working on the new Goosebumps books, and I know you're always keeping busy. Is there anything else maybe we should be looking out for coming up?
Well, I'm going to do a series of graphic novels. I haven't really written comic books. I always loved it. When I was a kid, I was a comic book freak. I'm doing a bunch of graphic novels called Just Beyond, which are for kids. They're basically Goosebumps stories, but done in comic book form. So I'm having fun. It's something new for me.
Excellent. Yeah, it's great. The longevity and Eureka's Castle. I remember having Masters of the Universe books that you were involved in, and Ghostbusters too. A lot of stuff.
Don't embarrass me with that stuff. Come on. People bring to book signings. They bring my G.I. Joe books.
Sure.
To book signing just to embarrass me.
Well, obviously everything has worked out well for you. Again, you've been a big part of my childhood, and it's been an honor speaking with you today. Thank you so much.
Oh, great. I enjoyed it. Thanks. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.